and good evening, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Shed, hashtag Irish Bills Mafia with me, Trevor. You're very welcome along to the show. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. The weather here isn't too bad. Starting to get cold, but it's still dry. We had a few showers this morning, but it's all right. We've had worse. So you're very welcome along. I didn't do a video on Thursday night. I just said I'd leave it. I wanted people, if they could, watch my interview with Jerry Ostrowski last week. I'm very appreciative of Jerry. It was a brilliant interview, and to be honest, I could have talked for hours with him. He's a fascinating guy, and if you get a chance, himself, John Fina and Joe Miller have the Overreaction Buffalo Network. It's on YouTube at Overreaction Buffalo, and give them a shout and watch. They're brilliant in what they do, explain things very simple and for us normal people to understand, and they have a good crack, and it's a good laugh doing it. I was watching their video from yesterday, and this morning it was brilliant. So anyway, if you get a chance, please do. And if you want to watch the interview with Jerry last week, it's there on my YouTube channel. It'll be put up with this later, so you can have a look at it and let me know what you think. So anyway, for tonight, what I'm going to do is I've been listening to podcasts over the last number of weeks of different things, and lots of them are very interesting, from Pro Football Ireland and from Overreaction Buffalo and Joe Marino and Locked On Bills and Nickel City Mafia. They're my four really go-to podcasts and YouTube videos that I watch, and they become very interesting ideas. So I've come up with my own idea tonight. I will do a quarterback rating for the season closer with the teams and how their teams are fixed. But tonight what I'm doing, just for something different, is I'm doing a quarterback rating per division. So I have the 4 NFC divisions and the 4 AFC divisions here, and the 4 quarterbacks that I didn't choose myself who would be starting. I went off NFL, UK and Ireland, who they think will be starting this year. And I know there's a few teams that will have different quarterbacks got in the draft, and whether they'll start or not, or might have traded for quarterbacks during the off season. But I decided, just rather than ifs and buts, I'm going with what NFL, UK and Ireland have put down for their 32 quarterbacks, and we'll take it from there then. And just one lighter note, I got my Keon Coleman jersey today. As you can see, I have the number 0 on. Keon is a rookie that has just joined the Buffalo Bills, and to be honest, I didn't know a lot about the guy before he came, but I am delighted he came, and I hope he sticks to his demeanour, his attitude, his way of talking, and it's brilliant. It's lighthearted, it's good. He knows he has to work. He is a great personality, and I hope he gets the joys of playing with Josh Allen and the yards and the catches and the touchdowns, and has many, many years at the Buffalo Bills, and we'll be shouting for him. But I had to get his jersey. I don't jump on things fairly quick. I like to watch them and see them go. But after his first interview, I was a Keon Coleman fan. So go Keon Coleman and go Bills. So anyway, tonight we get down to the business. So I'm going to start with the NFC quarterbacks, and it's the NFC East I'm going to start with. So the 4 quarterbacks they have in is Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys; Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles; Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders; and Daniel Jones, New York Giants. So they're the 4 quarterbacks they put in. How I have done this is I have who I think is the best quarterback in the division, and then who I think are second and third, but I'm not going to call them yet. I'm just going to say they're in the green, and then who I think is the quarterback that has the most work to do. That's the nicest way to put it. So in the NFC East, I have put Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. And people might be surprised why I've picked Dak over Jalen Hurts. To be honest, I know Dak hasn't done well in the playoffs. Some of it is his fault and some of it is the team's fault. But he's playing in a place where there's pressure beyond pressure. they think they're the biggest team in pro football and American football, and you know that pressure is going to be always there with them. But the reason I have him above Jalen Hurts is just going over the last two seasons. Yes, Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl, but then last season Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles just dived. At a point where they were cruising. And to be fair to Dak, I'm not his biggest fan, but in this division, I think he's the guy that stands out above the other three. Jaden Daniels, I have him in the green. Jalen Hurts, I have him in the green. And Daniel Jones, I have him in the guy that has the most to do. And you can go, well, what do you know about Jaden Daniels in the NFL? And to be honest, I know nothing. As of yet, he has to take a snap, throw a ball, pass a ball, make a run, do anything. Yeah, I know. But Daniel Jones really is, a guy that has to come back from his injury firstly, and then has to try and get to Daniel Jones of 2 years ago and better. And if he gets to that, then fair play to him. But, I have my question marks on him. So that's the NFC East. Now I'm going to do the NFC North. And the four quarterbacks are J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings, Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears, Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers, and Jared Goff, Detroit Lions. Now, these are hard to decide, just so you know. They're not just a simple thing of tick, 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 because some divisions do have a standout quarterback that needs a lot to do and some don't. And this is one of them divisions that doesn't have a standout quarterback. But I said I have to be fair. If I give one guy in the division, then I have to give one guy from every division. So in this one, I have Jared Goff as the standout quarterback. He proved it last year. He's proved it the last 2 years at Detroit. And I think Detroit are a team that will be knocking on the door for a Super Bowl this year. I'm not saying they're going to get there, but as of now, I think they're a team that's going to be knocking on the door. And yes, it's a tough division because you've got in the green, I have Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers, a guy that sat on and behind Aaron Rodgers for years, has come in, has made it his own, and last year really, really improved the Green Bay Packers. And they will be pushing Detroit Lions all the way in this division. The other green, I have Caleb Williams. And the only reason I have him ahead of J.J. McCarthy is he has more offensive power to throw to. Not much, but just a little bit more. I know Justin Jefferson has just signed a new contract with the Minnesota Vikings, but I think the Chicago Bears right now are just a better team than the Minnesota Vikings. Now, this is a thing I could have given 3 greens, but I have to give 1. So J.J. McCarthy is the guy that I think will have the most to do to improve, to get up that list. He's no more than Caleb Williams, a rookie. It's his first year taking a snap. I just think there's more pressure and there's more around Caleb Williams that this year. Next year, I think J.J. McCarthy will have a lot more pressure on him, and they'll have to build a lot more. And I think they're the 2 teams that I could have gone either way with, most to do. And so I just went to Chicago Bears for the Chicago Bears reason. And J.J. McCarthy, I know he's a winner, and I know he will get the Minnesota Vikings going. But I just think it might take another year with the team to improve. Then we have the NFC South. And in the NFC South, we have Bryce Young, Carolina Panthers, Kirk Cousins, Atlanta Falcons, Derek Carr, New Orleans Saints, and Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In this one, I think the standout quarterback is pretty simple. And I know he's coming back from Achilles injury. I know he has a backup ready to go to take his place, and according to reports, will either do it next year or in 2 years' time, definitely. But as of now, I think Kirk Cousins is the standout quarterback in that division. And Kirk Cousins has a very good team around him. Bijan Robinson is there. And I think Bijan was a big pick for them in last year's draft. And I think Bijan will have a breakout year this year, amongst others. Then I have, in the green, I have Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield. Now, this is a division where I like Baker Mayfield, and I've always been a fan of Baker Mayfield's. So I have him in the green on merit. But it was between Derek Carr and Bryce Young. Now, for me, Bryce Young was the number one draft pick last year, and he had a shocker, but he was in a bad team. I just don't trust him right now until I see the Carolina Panthers play games and see have they improved everything, and has he improved, and has he getting his confidence back to be the number one pick and prove he was the number one pick. I have him in as the most to do. But don't worry, Derek Carr wasn't far behind, just that he's the more experienced, and I think the New Orleans Saints are just a little bit ahead of the Carolina Panthers right now. Then we have the NFC West. And in the NFC West, you have Matthew Stafford, Los Angeles Rams, Brock Purdy, San Francisco 49ers, Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals, and Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks. Now, this is a tough division to pick from. I'm a huge Brock Purdy fan, and Brock Purdy was at the Super Bowl. And according to all reports across the water, San Francisco 49ers are favoured to get to the Super Bowl and possibly win it in this current season. But I put Matthew Stafford as the number one quarterback in that division. He's won a Super Bowl, firstly. He has come off a bad injury or bad run of injuries from last year and really improved Rams. And if he can stay fit in 2024, I think the Los Angeles Rams will go a long way in the NFC. But not far behind him is my man Brock Purdy. And again, he's with a team that's loaded. And bar a few mistakes, they could have won the Super Bowl last year. But then bar a few mistakes by the Bills, we could have knocked out the Kansas City Chiefs as well, but we didn't, and they didn't. So ifs and buts. But I have him as a close second. Then in the green with him, I have Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is a man that really has to prove himself this year. And the only reason I have him at the bottom is because I think he's a better team than Geno Smith has with the Seattle Seahawks. And that's why I have Geno Smith as number 4 in that division. I'm not saying they're going to finish number 4. This is just my quarterback rate now. So, but I think that with a new head coach there, that they'll take a bit of bedding in. And I do not know if Geno Smith will be number 1 for the Seattle Seahawks come the end of the season. Now, he had a fantastic year 2 years ago, but is a poor year last year. So we'll see which way it goes. So in the NFC, the 4 standout quarterbacks I have for 2024 as of now is Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys, NFC East, NFC North, Jared Goff, Detroit Lions, NFC South, Kirk Cousins, Atlanta Falcons, and NFC West, Matthew Stafford, Los Angeles Rams. So now we go to the AFC. So the first one we're coming up with is the AFC East, the one we all want to know. In the AFC East, you have now this is, as I say, NFL UK, so I'm going with them, and Ireland. Jacoby Brissett, New England Patriots. I do think he might start the season because they are paying him a good bit of money, but we'll see. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets. And Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins. So, no doubts, the man, Josh Allen, is number 1 by a country mile. I don't care. Maybe I have blinkers on or whatever. But for me, Josh Allen is the number 1 quarterback in this division. We have a new beginning coming. We'll talk about that as the weeks go by and how things might bed in. But right now, if you were to pick one quarterback in that division, and I'm not going to expand from the division, but you know where I'm going, that's Josh Allen all day, all night, anytime, anywhere. That's how I think. Number 2, I have Wisham behind him, a man with plenty of experience. I'm not a fan of his, but he has experience. He's controversial. Aaron Rodgers, if he stays fit. Tua Tagovailoa is number 3. And number 4 is Jacoby Brissett. And I think the way I've them done as a 1, 2, 3, 4 is how they'll finish come the end of the season. And Jacoby is going into with a new head coach, and he's got Drake May there knocking on his door, and I think there'll be ins and outs between the two of them over the year. I think the Patriots are a team that's really starting to rebuild, so they're out. Dolphins, they have weapons everywhere, but they calf when the pressure comes on. And then the Jets, it'll all depend on if Rodgers can stay fit, and if he can, they'll push the Bills a long way. But if he can't, it'll make it easier for the Bills. And I don't want to injure anyone, even if I don't like him. I still don't want him injured. So I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that he's coming back from an Achilles injury and he's 40 years of age. And how will it work? We don't know. So Josh is number one in the AFC East. In the AFC North now, this is again NFL, UK, and Ireland. So there's Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh Steelers, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, Deshaun Watson, Cleveland Browns. Now, this is the hardest division of football, probably to pick a team. There's 3, if not 4, that can win that division always. They're very, very strong teams. Their number one quarterback in that division, though, for me, is Joe Burrow. And I know Lamar Jackson is MVP, and you're, what? Well, I'm sorry, but if I was to pick 3 quarterbacks in the whole NFL and say what's between them, nothing on any given day, is Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. So I'll have Joe Burrow any day if I was an NFC North fan. And a Cincinnati Bengal fan, I'd be happy. I know he's coming back from injury, and there's always questions over injuries, but players do come back, and I think I've seen him throwing, and he looks good, and fair play. And I want to see the likes of Joe Burrow back, that if you're going to beat these teams, you're beating them with their best players. Second place, I have Lamar Jackson, and he is the MVP, and it was a close between him and Joe Burrow, but for me, on any day, I have Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson. Third place, I went Deshaun Watson. Don't like him there, but he's there, so just have to get on with it. The Cleveland Browns will look good this year if he is fit. If he's not fit, be a different story. But he has an awful lot of living up to do, and the only reason he isn't fourth is because I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers know who their quarterback is, and that's either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, and both of them, no more than Deshaun Watson, have things to prove. And if they don't, them teams could be in bother. But that is the NFC or AFC North. Now, the AFC South. I have Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars, CJ Stroud, Houston Texans, Anthony Richardson, Indianapolis Colts, and Will Levis, Tennessee Titans. So there's 3 quarterbacks playing that was in the draft in 2023. And you have Trevor Lawrence. So who's my number one? My number one is CJ Stroud. I'm a huge fan of CJ Stroud. I think he came into the burst of fresh air for the Houston Texans and the NFL last year. He's got weapons everywhere. The Houston Texans are a team that possibly can go a long way in definitely winning their division and getting a long way in the AFC Championships. But I've a word of warning for CJ Stroud. I've heard he's kind of getting cocky and saying things, and I read something there today now that the Indianapolis fans hate him already and he loves it. And that's good banter, yeah. But remember now, CJ, you had 1 year where nobody knew anything about you, and a lot of people reckon that they might be able to snuff you out this year because they know things. So it's up to you to prove it. And I hope you do, but let other people talk about you. You don't hear Josh Allen coming out saying stupid things, Patrick Mahomes saying stupid things, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, any of them guys, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. Don't get drawn into stupidity of mouthing, and then all people are waiting for is someone to shut you up, and it always happens. So concentrate in your game. If the Indy fans don't like you, that's good. Go and beat them, prove them, make them dislike you more. But stay quiet, stay humble. Humble is very important. Second in that division, I have Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson got injured last year and he was playing well. And I think if he's fit and can stay fit for the season, he's going to push him and the Coles will push CJ Stroud and the Texans a long way in that division. Third, I have Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And fourth, I have Will Levis of the Tennessee Titans. Now, there's a lot of made about Trevor Lawrence. And to be honest, I'm not a fan of his. Him and there'll be another guy I'll be talking to in the next group, Justin Herbert. They're two guys that a lot has been written and nothing has been proven. So Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars are going to have to come out and make a statement. And he's coming back from an injury too, so it'll be interesting to see how he recovers from it. Will Levis and the Titans, I know it's a lot of change going on down there. New head coach, new systems. He's wasn't a top pick from the draft last year. So he's bed in the new system. So it'll take a bit of work. I do like Will Levis, and I think he will, improve the Titans as time goes up by. But I just think at the minute, him and his team are the weakest in four. And finally, you have the AFC West. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers, Aiden O'Connell, Las Vegas Raiders, and Bo Nix, Denver Broncos. So, no question, number one is Patrick Mahomes, two-time Super Bowl champion back-to-back, and he won the Super Bowl before. In fairness to the man, he carried the Chiefs a lot last year. A lot. Other years they used to have different weapons where they could go to and had multiple choices. Last year, if Travis Kelce wasn't doing it, and in fairness, Travis Kelce did it a lot last year, but when he wasn't, Mahomes is there, and Mahomes carried them. So he's number one. Number two, this is the hardest division to get at number two, because I'm not a fan of Justin Herbert's, but I have him number two. I think Harborough will improve him and improve the Chargers, but there's been a lot of change there, so it might take a bit of time. Number three, I have Bo Nix. John Payton has, brought him and Zach Wilson there. I think Bo Nix might start, probably will start. And Bo could throw it in college, but college and NFL is two different things. So we'll see how it goes. And number four is Aiden O'Connell, Las Vegas Raiders. And the only reason I have him as number four is because Gardner Minshew could be playing, and they could be in and out between the two of them. So he mightn't get a right run if results don't go their way. He's okay of a quarterback, but he's not, top notch. And if you're a Vegas fan, you're going, we needed a quarterback. We should have got one this year. So there's my AFC ratings. And out of the top four quarterbacks out of that, I have Josh Allen, AFC East, Buffalo Bills. I have AFC North, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. I have AFC South, CJ Stroud, Houston Texans. And AFC East, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. So they're my 8 top quarterbacks, I think, out of the 4 divisions. There won't all be my 8 top quarterbacks out of the whole lot, but in each division, they're my 8 top quarterbacks. So the other bit of news that I was just reading up on is today, and I think it's brilliant news, is Christian McCaffrey has signed a 2-year extension with the San Francisco 49ers for $38 million. It's time this man got rewarded, and I'm delighted he has. He's one of my favorite players. He last year he just brought the place to life, receiving, running, blocking, doing whatever he had to do. This man could do everything, and I'm delighted. Like, other players are getting paid, this guy should be getting paid, and the likes of him. So congratulations, Christian. And Justin Jefferson has signed a 4-year extension with the Minnesota Vikings worth approximately $140 million. Again, it's a good signing. Those rumors that he might be leaving there before draft, And there was also a little rumour that he would have traded to the Buffalo Bills if that was a possibility, but he hasn't. He's staying with the Minnesota Vikings. So congratulations, Justin. Again, he's a very good wide receiver. JJ McCarthy will, take a bit of time to build in with him, but when they do, I think there could be a very good partnership for years to come. And that's basically it for the minute. So thank you very much for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed the kind of different slant. Just as interesting to see how people can cope with during the off season. So this is my little take on it. Let me know what you think about my quarterback ratings into divisions. As I said, I'll do a quarterback rating for the season closer to the start of the season when we get an idea who's starting. I'll also do a team rating where I think teams will finish. I know I did a kind of a one there a couple of weeks ago, but we're way, way, way from the start of the season yet. If you need to contact me, you can get me on X/Twitter at Bills_Irish. I'm on Instagram at the Irish Bills Mafia. I'm on YouTube and on Spotify at the Irish Bills Mafia too. And your support is very welcome. As I say, if you get a chance, check out Jerry Ostrowski's video with me interview, and John Feena's interviews there too from earlier in the year. Brilliant stuff, and two wonderful guys. If you get a chance to watch any YouTube videos, check Overreaction Buffalo, check at NFL Ireland, Pro Football Ireland, brilliant by Michael McQuaid and Mark Hogan and co. And you have Nickel City Mafia, Mike and Jake, two wonderful fellas that I get on very well with and chat a good bit too, and their shows are brilliant and excellent. You have the AFC East Summit during the week, and then you have a Sunday night video as well where they do, and I was watching it there yesterday. It's brilliant stuff. And also Locked On Bills with Joe Marino. Again, Joe goes through everything, and very, very specific and very intelligent and very interesting how he talks about things. So there are just some of the shows. If you get a chance, please do watch. And again, thank you very much for watching mine. And until the next video, I hopefully will do on Thursday. If not, it'll be next Tuesday night. We'll just see what the news is and anything to talk about. But as always, go Bills.